It's never easy, and I thought our guys after a week that we hadn't really, I mean, no one's really ever experienced, and I thought our guys in terms of trying to handle being ranked, the noise that comes with it, uh, to lose to a very talented, New Mexico team in a tough environment at the pit, and for us to come back knowing that this was a must-win game against an Air Force team that maybe on the road hasn't played as well as they have at home, but a team that was up in the second half against San Diego State before San Diego State made a run, and so we knew that we were going to have our hands full. Thought the first half, I mean, we started out good, and then we had a little bit of a lull, and it's a lull that we had talked about in practice with the guys, kind of with the 8-minute to 4-minute mark against Air Force. I mean, over the last 3 or 4 games, I mean, we just kind of, not to say let our guard down, but against a team like them where you're playing deep into the shot clock, it's it's like a time of possession game. It's, as I've referred to us as being the Tennessee Titans. I mean, they would be, I'm sure, the equivalent to, I got to think of an old school, maybe we'll say the Broncos with Terrell Davis back in the day, but, where is it just, it was a time of possessions battle. And thought at halftime, even though they did a few things differently defensively, tried to hide a few guys in different spots than what they did last game. And I thought at halftime we did a good job of adjusting from an offensive standpoint to kind of get the matchups that we wanted. And as you can see in the second half with what Graham and Maldo did in terms of just points in the paint and just kind of doing what they do. And now we just got to get some of those other guys. It's not from a lack of putting in the time or the lack of quality. It's the shot quality of the shots that our 3-point shooters are getting are great looks. It's just sometimes the ball doesn't go in, and it would be one thing if they weren't good shots or they were contested shots, but those are good shots that they'll knock down. And the beauty of it is that we don't have to rely on making threes to be a team that can go inside, a team that can get to the foul line 26 times and to be able to make those free throws. And down the stretch, I don't think we missed very many free throws. I don't know, we might have made about 15 or 16 there. But just a good win. It's hard to win. Hard to win in late February, 22-4, and I'm sure I'll get asked about who we're playing next.
Jeff, obviously Maldo and EJ made unlimited amount of winning plays, but I felt like the offensive rebound by Brendan and to get it to a 3-possession game was kind of let you guys breathe a sigh of relief a little bit there. Just what did you see down the stretch that made the difference?
Well, yeah, I thought the two big plays, and we had talked about at halftime about Air Force making more winning plays than we did. I mean, they had 5 offensive rebounds. They ended up having 11 for the game, which is inexcusable. Even though we ended up out rebounding by 4, but I mean, you can't give a team 11 extra possessions. But I thought Maldo's steal that led to an and one, that was a huge play, and then Wenzel's play, that was a big time winning play. I mean, that's the difference between winning and losing. And when you have the fans, the students, you have the AA rocking like the old Dome of Doom, and now you get the energy of the crowd and get the crowd behind you, and then you find ways to get stops. And I thought, for the most part, as hard as they are to guard, and they had a couple guys. I mean, I love Lucas Mormon. I recruited him at UNC and tried to convince him that we could figure out a way for him to be an aeronautical engineer at UNC. But then at the last minute, Air Force jumped in and probably have a little bit different aeronautical engineering degree program than what UNC did. And so, he's a great kid, but I mean, he goes in, makes 3 threes. Jeffrey Mills hasn't made a shot, even though we had Jeffrey Mills in an elite camp when I was at UNC as well. So it was like these demons coming back from the past. But give our guys credit for fighting through and just finding a way not to panic, and just stuck together. And that looked like the team that I've seen for pretty much all season long.
Hey Jeff, you guys had 2 or 3 shot clock violations at the defensive end today. What was the biggest thing that impressed you from your team defensively?
I mean, a team that's hard to guard, a team that you don't see. I mean, that type of offense you play against it maybe once a year. I mean, there's teams that try different concepts or try to run plays that are similar. But Coach Wicks, did a really good job with the scout. He really broke it down in terms of what concepts and actions really gave us problems in the first game and give other teams problems. And I thought we did a good job of making some adjustments from game one. But as I tell our guys all the time, I mean, you just can't overreact. I mean, every now and then you're going to give up a back cut for a layup, but you just over the course of the game, I mean, you're not going to lose that way. But I thought our guys did for the most part guard to the 3-point line well. You don't count for Mormon to make three and whatnot, but give them credit for making shots when we left them open.
On a night when they were hitting threes and you guys weren't, what kind of a luxury is it to have a guy like EK that can go 11 for 11, in the paint?
Yeah, good players make good coaches. I mean, a guy like him and I really thought, just his mentality tonight, not getting up, not getting frustrated with knowing that there was going to be a lot of flopping going on, and I thought the officiating crew actually did a pretty good job for the most part in terms of handling that, because I mean, that's some of the flopping that goes on. I mean, it's just not basketball. And so Graham knew that was coming. We had prepared and we adjusted some things offensively, but it was just his mindset, knowing that he is. I mean, as many touches that he gets. I mean, if you probably really wanted to go back and track, and as I told him the other night, I mean, I'm not sure in the history of college basketball. I mean, I know for a fact over the last 25 years since Synergy's been around, I mean, there's not been a post player that's had the ball the number of possessions that he has. I mean, he averages 28 to 32 possessions a game, and that puts a lot of pressure on the officials. And knowing that the only way you can really guard him is by trying to flop around, and so he just had to learn that you can't overreact. And knowing that you probably need to know that there's going to be one and a half. Now, what you can't afford is to get the ticky tack foul. And so I thought he did a good job tonight of just his approach and having the right mindset, knowing what was coming. Because the last time we played him, it was crazy.
Jeff, obviously got a big one coming up on Wednesday. For you and your team, what's it like to be in this opportunity, playing the border war with such high stakes this late in the season?
Yeah, I mean, it's, our whole deal is it's just the next game is the most important game. And it's nice that for us to be in the position we're in, I mean, for the Rams to be in the position that they're in. And I know both programs, coaching staffs have a lot of respect for one another, as much as, we don't want to make that common knowledge, but at the same time too, we know that those when we have to ramp it up and we have to go against each other, man, there's no love loss. And so we expect another battle, another border war, and we don't expect anything else. And in the next couple of days, we have to continue to find a way to get better. I know they'll be doing the same, but just two really good teams. I mean, that's what it is. Two really good teams with really good players. And, these are the reasons why you play college basketball, is to be in an environment like it was here when we played them, to go to Moby when it's going to be sold out. It's good to have that back in this neck of the woods. Thanks, guys.